Hi, I'm Mason Marangella from Vertex Effects, and today I'm showing you 5 different ways that you can use the Vertex Boost for ultimate flexibility and as the ultimate utility pedal on your pedal board. So a quick overview of some of the things that the Vertex Boost can do. Firstly, it is a transparent linear buffer. What does that mean? It means it doesn't change the core tone of your amplifier or any of the pedals that are going into it. Quick demonstration of that is, I turn the Vertex Boost to totally to the left, unity gain, no boost whatsoever. I hit a chord. I turn it on and off. There is fundamentally no change to the signal. Whatever comes in, comes out, and I have up to 16 dB to boost on top of that above unity gain, which is essentially acting the same way as if I walk to my amplifier, turn it up a few dB, no change to the core tone, just the same thing you got, but louder. Secondly, it allows you to connect a volume pedal or expression pedal to it by way of the 1/8" jack. Today, I have an Ernie Ball VP Junior, and I'm using an insert cable where it's an 1/8" jack that's TRS on the boost side, and then it goes to 2 1/4" TS on the volume pedal side. All I do is connect it in through the back of the Vertex Boost, and now I have a volume pedal. Not only do I have a volume pedal, but if I set this to boost, now I can control that boosted amount by way of the volume or expression pedal. Now, if you were to hear this volume pedal by itself, it would sound pretty wretched to the tone. But when connecting it through the Vertex Boost, no consequence whatsoever of using any volume pedal or expression pedal. Doesn't matter the quality, doesn't matter the impedance, they're all going to sound absolutely the same. Let's just hear what it sounds like when there isn't any Vertex Boost involved and we're just plugging right into the volume pedal. Now back to the volume pedal connected through the Vertex Boost. Another thing the Vertex Boost can do is it can turn a passive effects loop into an active one. All these key setups today are really utilizing the boost itself and the 1/8" TRS jack on the back of the Vertex Boost. This is part of the reason why we were able to take the original Vertex Boost, which was quite a bit larger, and consolidate it into a smaller enclosure, because now our expression jack and our multifunction jack, which is essentially what this expression jack is functioning as, can connect to so many different things in a myriad of different ways. And we're not only going to show you how to do that, we're going to show you the right cables and accessories you're going to need to do it, and how you can maximize your tone by just having this pedal in your signal path and all the great things that it does. So first thing that the Vertex Boost does, it allows you to add more saturation to an existing device that you have. Typically, this would be an overdrive device. Putting the Vertex Boost before any overdrive device is going to allow you to drive that device harder, get more saturation out of it, the same way as it would be if you had hotter pickups going into the same distortion pedal. It actually might distort more because you have more output hitting the input of your distortion device. So let's see what that sounds like. I've got my Ultraphonics HRM here. I'm going to set up a nice distortion sound with this, and then I'm going to use the Vertex Boost to saturate it harder, adding more gain, more saturation to the same tone, clipping it harder. Adding the Vertex Boost. You can hear that it's clipping that front end harder, it's giving it more saturation, and it's producing a little bit more of a kind of top end sort of sizzle to the sound because it's clipping the front end of it harder. Now, in some pedals, you may not like the effect of it being clipped harder, and in other devices, you may love how it saturates on the input. What you're hearing there is the Vertex Boost hitting the front end of the Ultraphonics HRM harder, giving it more gain, giving it more distortion on the input, and that creates a different type of distortion effect than if I were to just turn up the gain on the Ultraphonics itself. because I don't have any way to clip the input harder than what the pedal can do on its own. So this can be a cool way to saturate your effects differently and get some more of that distortion tone, but not change the fundamental sound of what's going on there. It would almost be as if you put a boost in front of the ultraphonic circuit itself. Because of how transparent the Vertex Boost is, it's not changing the fundamentals of what's going on here. It's just hitting it harder, clipping it harder, sending it into saturation a little earlier than it would ordinarily. But here's another way you could use it. You can take the Vertex Boost, use it after any of your overdrive devices, and this can just add a master volume output to the entire thing. It's like being able to add more volume on top of what's already there. Let's hear how that sounds. So I haven't changed anything about the controls on the Ultraphonics. Everything is exactly the same on the Boost and the Ultraphonics. All I'm doing this time is positioning it differently so the Boost is after the overdrive. So here's my overdrive sound again. Now the Boost, adding more output. It's not saturating as hard, it's actually just adding more output, maybe clipping the front of the 2-rock a little harder, but it is not doing anything fundamental to the tone. If I take away the Vertex Boost again, I have roughly the same chord tone, just not as much output. It's not changing what's going on, it's just adding more to it as though I walk back to my amp, I turn it up, but of course that would be inconvenient in the course of a solo. You never want to just walk back to your amp, turn it up, take your solo, walk back, turn it back down. Incredibly inconvenient, especially when you can do it all right here without any sonic consequence. The next thing you can do is use the Vertex Boost as an actual boost in the effects loop. By connecting it through the effects loop, it actually acts the same way as a lot of amplifiers like Mesa Boogie and others that actually have a built-in solo boost into the amp, where it's boosting between the preamp and the power amp, and because this can take line level, it's not going to have any issues with clipping the boost itself. It's just going to add that output, hit that power transformer harder, and give you that really nice clean solo boost. So let me connect it up like that, and we can hear what that does to this 2-rock. So here's the 2-rock as it is, everything, guitar running right into the front, boost running into the effects loop. Here it is with the boost off. Boosting now into the effects loop. Added a little delay there just so you could kind of hear those trails in the effects loop, but it's not changing anything fundamental to the 2-rock. In fact, if I turn the boost all the way off with no output boost whatsoever, and I just bring it in and out in the effects loop, you're going to hear it's not doing anything to the core tone. Not changing what's going on there, just making it louder. What I love about it is they can take that effects loop and essentially add what a lot of those amp foot switches would do, where it's adding that solo boost, but it allows you to be remote with it. You can put the boost in the loop, you can put it in front of the amp, and again, I still have the benefit of controlling my volume and expression of the boost with any external volume or expression pedal I want. A lot of times in effects loops, the impedances of volume pedals can get a little strange. Won't always go totally silent because of the impedance of the pot not matching up well with the impedance of the loop. But here I am taking my same Ernie Ball volume pedal. Again, doesn't matter the impedance. I connect it in to the Vertex Boost, and now I have a volume pedal in my effects loop. Boost it up. Still all the benefits of using a volume pedal. I got it in my loop now. Doesn't matter whether I have a 25K, 250K pot, doesn't matter which type of volume pedal I have. And again, the Vertex Boost is compatible with over 100 different volume and expression pedals by way of connecting it through the 1/8" jack on the back of the Vertex Boost. You can really connect anything to it. You have the full benefit of using it in the loop, in front of the amp. Doesn't matter where, still works flawlessly. Gives you that master volume boost as well. And with the volume pedal or expression paired with it, you can really fine tune it for any output in any mix that you want. Now the next option for the Vertex Boost is to actually use it as a full dual buffer for your entire system. So again, using my insert cable, I can connect a chain of effects with this and actually use the Vertex Boost as my input and output buffer through the entire rig. The guitar plugs into the input, the amp plugs into the output, and then I can actually side chain pedals into my rig by way of using this 1/8" TRS to dual TS-Y cable. So essentially all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug in to the expression jack. I now have these two TS jacks, one for send and one for return. I put my send jack into my very first device on the input. My second device I would chain as normal, just with a normal patch cable. I could continue that chain and go and go and go. And then my very last side of the Y connector is going to go to the return. And now I have multiple effects in line, and I'm using the Vertex Boost as the input buffer, so when my guitar plugs in, I get that buffer. And then for my last pedal, the Ultraphonics, it's going to go back and hit that output buffer, and then my output from the Boost is connected to the amp, so I can actually sidechain an entire pedal board. And again, we make these cables custom. They'll be available on our website. You can customize the length, the type of cable that you want, whether that's a TRS to TRS if you're going to an expression pedal, or a Y cable, which is how you connect to multiple effects, or using any sort of ordinary volume pedal. And again, the Vertex Boost is compatible with over 100 volume and expression pedals that you can connect to, probably even some that you already own at this very second. Or the final way today that I'm going to show you that you can use a Vertex Boost and connect it to just an additional way to your amplifier is connecting it to the effects loop to turn a passive loop into an active loop. Now on most of the amplifiers these days, they don't have active effects loops, which means that they're not buffered. So any amount of cable on the send or the return is going to appreciably affect the tone. You can actually connect the Vertex Boost to an amplifier on the send and return, and then use the expression port by way of a Y cable to connect to external devices. So I'm actually going to use the Boost right now to connect to the send and return of this 2-rock. I'm then going to connect by way of the insert cable to a memory man, and I'm going to insert a memory man into the effects loop of the 2-rock, which is ordinarily passive, and turn that into an active loop, so we no longer have any consequence or any tone suck by way of using the effects loop, and then we're matching everything up appropriately in terms of the impedances, and we don't have, again, the dreaded tone suck of using a passive loop with any amount of cable on the output. So right now, I got the guitar plugged into the front of the 2-rock. I have the Boost connected to the send and return with short cables, and now I have the Y cable coming out of the expression jack of the Boost into my memory man input and output. So I have the Boost wired to the effects loop, the expression jack or the insert point is wired to the delay so that the delay is getting the proper impedance, it's getting a low impedance signal, and it's taking that passive loop from the 2-rock, turning it into an active loop so I can run a longer cable to my effects that I want in the effects loop. Let's hear how that sounds. I get all the benefits of those beautiful repeats, putting my delay in between the preamp and the power amp, no consequence of using a passive effects loop. I can literally turn it into an active loop by way of connecting the Vertex Boost in and out to the send and return, and then using the expression Y cable as my new send and return to the effects that I want to include into the effects loop. It works flawlessly. So those were 5 ways that you could use the Vertex Boost in order to connect it to multiple different devices and in multiple different ways to your rig. It really is the ultimate utility pedal for any pedal board. Whether you want to take a volume and expression pedal, turn it into an active volume expression pedal with the ability to be able to boost 16 dB over your original volume. You can use it to saturate other devices more by putting it first. You can use it to add more output to other devices by putting it last. You can use it as a high-quality dual buffer for your entire system by way of a Y cable that connects 1/8 inch to the Vertex Boost and then splits out to 2 mono cables, one that would go to the first pedal in the chain and the other side would go to the last pedal in the chain, incorporating it into that expression loop or that insert loop in the pedal itself, or connecting it to an amplifier in the effects loop in order to turn a passive loop into an active loop, allowing you to use all your delays and modulation effects and run a long cable out to your pedal board from the loop without any consequence of tone suck, as you normally would if it were just a standard passive loop without any signal conditioning. So really, even though it's just one pedal with one foot switch and one knob, it's really more than just another boost and can really be used to expand and make your pedal board extremely utilitarian and offering you all the functions that you're going to need for your boosting, your volume pedal, your signal conditioning, and multiple different hookup options depending on your system, your rig, and how it's best going to optimize your tone. If you want to hear what the pros say about this pedal and you want to learn more about all the connection options, we've linked a video for you that shows a great overview of the Vertex Boost that goes into a little bit more depth of the history and a lot of the guys that have used it and helped develop this pedal to make it what it was. Additionally, I'll have a manual for you that's going to show you all the different ways that you can connect this a little bit more specifically so you can get some wiring diagrams and maybe even some ideas of how you might connect this to your rig. And of course, if you have any questions, you can put those in the comments and we'd be glad to answer those for you. Until next time, I'm Mason Marangella from Vertex Effects. See you later.